Good day everybody, and welcome to my channel. As you can see, this is my first video, so hopefully you will have as much fun watching this video as much as I enjoy reading this fanfic for you. This is my first time reading it. I have skimmed through it, and it looks very interesting. So, first time reading, bear with me. And I know we'll have a good time. And on that note, I shall read you this fanfic by Dork on fanfiction.net. I hopefully will get better at reading these as time goes on. But for now, you're just gonna have to hold your horses and see me through. So, with that, I shall start reading you this. The title is called My Little Pony Shipping Challenge by Dork at fanfiction.net. I will be reading you chapter 1, and the chapter is called Rarity x Applejack. Not a surprise there. Rarity sighed, looking around her empty boutique. Sweetie Belle had left to go play with Scootaloo. Opal was taking a nap on one of her naked malkins, and she never let it pass her by that she'd be feeling so bored and lonely when she actually had some free time on her hooves. The white unicorn let her mind wander, thinking about her friends. Pinkie Pie was babysitting the Cake Twins today, she believed. She wouldn't want to interrupt her. Twilight was gone to the Crystal Empire to visit her brother in Cadence, and Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash were up in Cloudsdale for some sort of Pegasus occasion. Then there was Applejack. Rarity thought about the Earth Pony, looking at the clock on the wall. The orange mare was probably almost ready for a break. Maybe she could go down to Sweet Apple Acres after all, it has been a while since she has spent some time with the orange mare. She thought for a moment, and then sighed, deciding she would go. Rarity trotted out of her boutique, flipping her sign to close to ensure there would be no confused customers to deal with. As she trotted through town, she looked around at the calm, easy day in Ponyville. She fixed her eyes ahead of her and saw the familiar dirt path not that long after. She headed down it, feeling the smooth dirt and grass on her hooves. Rarity looked around as she drew near to the barn, and she saw apples fall down from a tree. Her azure eyes looked down to see a pony with a blonde mane looking down at the buckets full of apples with pride. "Applejack!" she called over and smiled. The cow pony looked over. "Rarity? Oh, howdy! What brings you down here to these parts?" I apologized for my Applejack voice. Rarity walked over to her friend. "Oh, well, I wasn't busy, and I simply thought it has been a while since we last talked." Applejack grinned. "Yeah, Rare, you're right." Rarity smiled. "Only Applejack called her Rare." But then AJ's green eyes scanned over. Still have a few trees to buck. Only 3 or 4. You can sit back there while I do that, though." I absolutely apologize for my Applejack voice. I haven't been practicing for a while, but it will get better. So do not worry, pony folk. Place. Alright. Rarity quietly looked over at the trees and chuckled, a crazy idea in her head. "Say, AJ," she says. Her friend went towards the first tree. Applejack mumbled quietly as she bucked a tree, apples falling down once more. The unicorn looked up at the tree next to it. "I know this may seem absolutely crazy, but maybe I could try a tree?" "I don't know, Rarity," Applejack said hesitantly, though her mouth was slightly curved, trying not to smile. "Oh, please, let me at least try to help you, darling." She batted her eyelashes at the Earth Pony. "You must be so tired," she softly teased, knowing her friend could buck plenty of trees without breaking a sweat. Applejack chuckled. "Oh, okay, fine, but you might get your pretty little hooves dirty." The orange pony teased as she took the white hoof into both of hers. "I don't know if you could risk it." Rarity blushed slightly at the warm feel of her hooves wrapped around hers, so she turned around before her friend could notice and get the wrong idea. She giggled softly, though, at her friend's joke. Applejack walked past her side and over to the tree. "Well, you have to turn your backside towards the tree and you buck it. But put a lot of power into your back legs, but enough to keep your front... Wait, what? But enough on your front legs to keep balance." Sorry, I read that wrong. Put a lot of power into your back legs, but enough on your front to keep your balance. There we go. Rarity nodded. "Easy enough, I suppose." She raised up on her front hooves and kicked powerfully at the tree, but she didn't put enough weight on her front legs. She fell over with an oof. She blushed deeply as an apple fell down and hit her on the head, and she didn't kick as powerfully as she thought, only hearing a few apples fall into the baskets laid around the tree. Applejack was having a fit of laughter beside her, and then she managed to catch her breath, grinning as she walked over to the unicorn. "It was a good try, Rare." She stretched an orange hoof out to hers for her to grab, and she did. She felt her friend pull her up, but she pulled too hard and fell backwards, tumbling over on wobbly hind legs. "Whoa," her friend said, startled. Applejack grabbed onto Rarity as they tumbled down through the grass. Rarity screamed, taken back as they fell down. She felt Applejack holding onto her protectively and smiled softly through. Their differences aside, she had a good friend. They came to a stop and she moaned, feeling an ache in her back. She closed her eyes for a moment and then opened them, finding herself staring into green eyes with an affectionate look in them. Rarity felt hooves lying softly on her back, and then instantly both mares blushed. Rarity?" Applejack stuttered. Rarity looked back down into her friend's eyes and smiled softly. Well, that was some sort of karma on your part." She placed her hooves gently on her friend's shoulders, not seeing her friend's blush reappearing. "Yeah, too bad I took you down with me," Applejack said, nervousness edging her voice for whatever reason. The white pony thought for a moment. "Yes, well, about that." She pondered for a moment, remembering the way her friend had grabbed onto her. "You grabbed onto me as if we were going to die. What in the name of Celestia was that for?" Applejack smiled a goofy smile. "Well, I wouldn't want to..." This was not written right. "Well, I wouldn't want to lose you." Okay. Rarity knew a lot about how mares acted when they crushed on some pony. She took notice of the smile. It looked very nervous and silly, and felt Applejack's heart beating fast under her. She noticed the blush under her freckles and then saw a powerful affection in her eyes. Her words were not just referencing losing a friend, but more like a love. Then she noticed herself. She had not moved from where she was at. Subconsciously, she must have decided she liked being this close to her friend. She felt this gnawing at her stomach, butterflies even. She had scruff marks and her mane was a mess, but she didn't. That is wrong. She had scuff marks and her mane was a mess, but it didn't matter. She was taking in her friend's earthy smell of apples and the country mixed in with her own perfume. Rarity felt like a fool. How long had she been obvious for the feelings she had for Applejack? She looked down at the earth pony. She was almost 100% sure that she was reading the signs correctly, but this was the first time she has had the worry of being rejected. Rarity narrowed her eyes. She let a burst of confidence take over her, and just as Applejack was going to move, she locked her lips with hers. Applejack opened her eyes wide in surprise, and then she settled down and returned the favor, wrapping her hooves gently around the unicorn's neck. Rarity then pulled away, her white face a deep red. Applejack. Applejack looked up at her. Rarity, thought you'd never return the feelings. What? Rarity said, surprised as she finally decided to stand up. How long have you felt this way, dear? Ever since I apologized to you at Twilight, that one that I've been trying to ignore my feelings for you, but... She rolled over onto her side and stood up, shaking grass from her mane. I realized more and more every time we met that I loved you, she murmured, looking over to her side. You're everything I'm not, and that's why I love you. You're my other half, sugar cube. Like, okay, let me try that again. You're my other half, sugar cube. That's better. She looked back to her friend. Rarity smiled. Oh, Applejack, I wish I wasn't so obvious to my feelings. No, wrong word. Oh, Applejack, I wish I wasn't so oblivious to my feelings. She felt emotions overwhelm her as she jumped over to her friend and gave her a tight hug. She pulled back and looked into her eyes. I never thought I would fall in love with a farm pony, but... She kissed the mare's orange cheek. I have. Rephrase. She kissed the mare's orange cheek. I have, she whispered. Rarity looked at her. I am so sorry, darling. I can't imagine what kind of feelings I probably put you through, but by not realizing sooner. Rarity let her mind go to the previous times they had met. She always felt happy and more laid back. She had always tried to get closer to Applejack, and she never realized the feelings brewing inside of her. She sat down as Applejack brushed dirt and grass off of her white coat, and then back up as she placed her hat on top of her white head. She smiled softly as Applejack grinned. It looks nice on you. She winked, causing Rarity to slightly blush. Why don't you wear it for a while? Rarity smiled. Yes, but of course. Cowboy hats are in season, she teased slightly. Oh, Applejack, I think you have a few more trees to take care of, she said, glancing over at the tree, wondering how silly it was that one of her foolish actions led to this. She felt Applejack stand next to her and place a hoof around her neck. Nah, it can wait. I can spend more time with my very special slim pony. Rarity looked over her and smiled, giving her a soft kiss on the lips. Glad you agree, Sugar Cube. Maybe two is better than one. Rarity thought softly, looking at the apple. Oh wow. Looking at the apple of her eye. Never had she thought about opening her heart for another pony, but Applejack had stolen it and managed to find the key. Aww. I thought that was really cute. And that is the end of Chapter 1. I will be recording Chapter 2 soon, but I will let this video say for itself what I plan to do here. If you have any fanfics that you want me to read, I will put my email down in the description below. let me know what you want. I'm pretty much open to do anything. I will be glad to read yours in particular, and I hope you come back. And again, I apologize for my voices. I haven't done voices like ever, and that was my first time ever doing them, so they will get better, I promise. So like I said in the beginning, just bear with me and we will have awesome times. So see you later. Hopefully you come back. Don't leave me.